Que pasa, amigos? What's up? Hello, America. Good morning. How do you do? It's great to be with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Worst day of the week. Scientifically proven. But we're here to help you have a good one. We, because I am Rob Brown, and directly across from me, the great one himself, the man in charge of the broadcast, Lonzo's back behind the buttons. What's up, buddy? Why do you look so despondent this AM?
All right, first of all, you caught me, talking to the camera, which I do all the time with my eyes because, we communicate.
I am an actor!
And the other thing is, okay, scientifically proven.
Yeah, Tuesdays suck.
Okay, but could you give me your sources?
I'm alive every Tuesday. I've been doing this study for
all right, so
37 years.
This sounds like something that someone on another show would say. And no. Every day is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. We're here together with all the people listening.
Why do we have to pretend every day is a beautiful day? Some days suck.
You know what?
That's okay.
You could be in the hospital. You could be. There could be all these things that could be worse than what's going on now. You're getting paid, albeit not very much, to be in a beautiful studio, sharing company with me, and getting to talk to all the people who are listening right now, who look forward to hearing you every day. So Tuesday is a great day because they turn their radio on to listen to us.
I would like to go on the record and say, just because your problems aren't as bad as other people's problems doesn't mean your problems don't suck. This is when somebody has a real bad day and they're like, man, this and that, and the other people go, well, at least you got both your legs, or at least you got a job. It's like, right, but I still don't like this thing that's happening. There will always be someone who has it worse. That doesn't mean that I like my situation.
I don't know about you, but most time people who try to console me don't sound like this. At least you got your legs, loser. Look up. What's your problem?
Quit your yapping.
What are you whining about? People need nice water and food and stuff, and you're fine.
Like Monday, you got the benefit of you're back in the office. You're seeing people you haven't seen in a couple of days. It's a day to kind of like get back into the grind a little bit. Tuesday, it's like you're expected to be at the grind, and you still got 3 more days after you finish this one, right? There's nothing positive about that. I mean, there is for us. Our job's awesome.
There's been just as many songs written about Tuesday as there have been about Monday, and they're all happy.
Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner. They're not all happy.
Whatever happened to Tuesday and So Slow?
I'm now Googling songs about Tuesdays.
Tuesday Afternoon.
Moody Blues. I like that one. Taco Tuesday by Migos.
I bet that is a song full of joy and food. Never actually listened to Migos before, but I hear they're pretty popular with the kids.
Cat Stevens sang one called Tuesday's Dead. Bowling for Soup's Cold Shower Tuesdays. Different sort of message on that one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound positive.
It's not.
Unless you're into cold showers, because you could be.
Stevie Wonder's Tuesday Heartbreak. Sweet Tuesday Morning by Badfinger.
There we go. Everything by Badfinger is positive.
A song by Kesha that includes a title using the word Tuesday that I'm not going to read on the air.
I bet it's positive, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Songs about Tuesday. All right. Let's get to some sports this morning, shall we?
If you can, on a Tuesday. Because it's the worst day of the week.
It is the worst.
It's not the worst day of the week.
So what's the worst day of the week then?
There are no bad days. There are no bad days.
Well, that's just a lie.
I don't go, oh man, I'm dreading that day because that's a bad day. I cannot have a good time on that day. You're in your head telling yourself that Tuesday's a bad day. Tuesday's not a bad day. Especially during football season, because on Tuesday you get to talk about Monday Night Football. It's almost.
Right, but it's okay.
Didn't the American women win a big soccer game yesterday?
They did 1-0 over Mexico last night.
Which means you're going to be able to talk about that today.
Love that.
You couldn't talk about that on Monday because it didn't happen until yesterday. Now you can talk about it today.
That's right.
So,
which made Monday better because there was a soccer match to watch.
but it makes Tuesday better because you get to talk about a victory.
Right, but not as good as Monday because there was a game yesterday. Braves lost last night. They lost the first of 3.
More people dread Monday
Mets.
than they do Tuesday.
Tuesday's the worst. It's the worst. The Braves did drop one to the Mets last night. That's, what's the word? A bummer. Because Max Scherzer was an absolute dude last night. Absolute guy last night for the Mets. And the unfortunate part in that one is that your ace Max Fried got straight up outdueled. Scherzer went 7 inning pitched, gave up 1, K'd 9, issued 0 walks on the day. The Braves had only 5 hits throughout the night. Austin Riley, who has been on an absolute heater lately, went yard for another one. He also went yard for the only one, as the Braves offense just sputtered. That's what cars used to sound like. Braves offense sputtered last night. On the flip side, New York, the Mets put up 9 hits against Max Fried. Sorry, I got my Maxes confused for a second there. It was Fried day, and it didn't go as well as you'd like. Fried went 5 innings, issued 5 hits, gave away a pair of earned runs, 2 other runs as well, walked 5, K'd 5. Good news is, if you listen to Rob Brown, who sat in on the BetMGM BetQL podcast with Cody Decker yesterday, you won some money because Rob Brown said over 8.5 Ks for Scherzer, over 4.5 Ks for Fried, and an under of 7.5, and they all hit. So if you parlayed those, you made, I don't know, twice that money. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, not a great start to this series for the ATL, unfortunately. Wanted that one, mainly because this is a massive, massive series for the Bravos, who come into this a game and a half back of the Mets. They are now 2.5 games back of the Mets. Obviously, in playing the Mets, you find yourself in a spot now where each one of these games is worth a full game in the standings. It's the half game dub for you, the half game L for them. The Braves now 7-3 in their last 10. The Mets 6-4 in their last 10. The Bravos 30-19 at the house. But the Mets put another L onto that record yesterday. The Mets are better on the road, 26-18. Than the Braves, who were 22-17. The Mets have played a couple more games, but not many. Atlanta's got to take the back 2. Got to take the back 2, and it's got to start today. They'll get their chance this afternoon. Atlanta and New York will go at 7:20 tonight. David Peterson takes the hill for the Mets, but Spencer bleeping Strider goes to the bump for the Bravos. And Spencer Strider has been phenomenal. How phenomenal, you ask? I'm glad you did, hypothetical listener. I made up for this exact situation. Spencer Strider has been good enough that before his last outing, where he had a historic outing, before his last outing, where he went double-digit Ks as a rook, your boy, Rob Brown, picked him up as a potential NL Rookie of the Year at plus 550. That is better than 5-1 odds. After he pitched last week, after he came off the hill, here, I'll go back. I'll tell you exactly what he's sitting at right now. I got him at plus 550. Then he went out. He went double-digit Ks right after that. And now, if we go look at the National League Rookie of the Year, let me go pull that up. In the NL, you can now end up getting Spencer Strider. They pulled him off the board. That's how good he was. They pulled him off the board. Are you kidding me? Well, locked in for me. I'm not mad about it at all. Oh, sorry. Here he is. He is there. National League Rookie of the Year. I got him at plus 550. 5-1. He's now plus 200. The odds have been cut in half. Sorry. Your profit has been cut in half. Should have listened to me. Now he's plus 200 to be NL Rookie of the Year. I got him at plus 550. Yes, I am bragging about that. Yes, I am absolutely stoked about that. So we'll talk more about the Bravos as they are locked in a big 3-game series with the Mets. Again, Strider on the hill tonight for the ATL. We'll wrap this one up on Wednesday at 12:20. Chris Bassett and Charlie Morton, your projected starters for a Wednesday afternoon matchup. Pretty pumped about that. Hey, Lonzo, you watching NBA Summer League ball at all?
Seen some highlights. One day they praise a guy, and the next day they show him getting beat down. I think it was the number 2 pick, the skinny guy. I forget his name.
Chet.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Chet out of Gonzaga. Chet Holmgren.
So, no, I've seen that it's on and went, look, Summer League, and then.
Here's why I asked. Last night, the Greenville Liberty had an event. They asked me to host. They asked me to MC it as they get set for their Wednesday afternoon matchup. That'll be tomorrow night at home, Legacy Early College, 7 p.m. Get your tickets now by going to greenvilleliberty.com. Tomorrow on the show, if you missed it last week, I don't do this very often, but I liked it enough. We will replay last week's interview with head coach of the Triumph, Julie Carlson, on tomorrow's show. Anyway, they asked me to come out and MC and host and introduce the team to the fans, et cetera, which obviously did. And of course I would love to do some things like that. I was sitting there before the event started. You know, our buddy Doug Irwin, CBO of the team. Dougie Fresh walks over and he's like, "Hey, boss, we're a couple of minutes behind. Waiting on a couple of the last few girls to show up, get jerseys on, etc." I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, no worries. Let's go." He said, "I don't want you to feel like you're like having to hang out and wait, man. Can I get?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And he looks up and he realizes I'm 2 quarters deep in Pelicans v. Hawks NBA Summer League game. You know, it was good for the same reason that despite the fact that we didn't talk about it because you guys didn't care about it, it was good for the same reason that the USFL was actually pretty good this year, even though none of y'all watched it.
So it's not like watching rec league ball.
No.
Okay.
No, it's good ball.
How many guys from the Summer League actually make it on a team, though?
Well, I will.
I know you got your stars, and then the stars get shut down after the team sees, okay, they're doing pretty good, all right, yeah, and then they bring in other guys.
Yeah,
is it akin to preseason in a way?
In a way. I mean, it is a developmental league. Obviously, it's a developmental league. But you get guys like Jose Alvarado for the Pelicans last year. Remember Jose? Well, I genuinely think Jose last year for the Pels was the reason Chris Paul fell apart. Alvarado, remember, was the dude that on inbounds would like go stand and hide in the corner. And then when the point guard inbounded the ball and started coming the other way, he would swoop in out of the shadows and pick the pocket on the way out. And he did that like 3 or 4 times. He did it to Chris Paul in like game 3 or 4 of the Phoenix New Orleans series. And Chris Paul fell the hell apart after that. He's playing in Summer League. Why? Because the Pels put him on a regular contract last year for the year, and now they're going, all right, is this guy worth bringing in to be CJ McCollum's backup? And these are the type of questions that teams are utilizing. Yeah, you're going to see some guys like Chet Holmgren who are going to get thrown in there. They are going to play, they're going to play 2-3 games. They're going to go get 24, and then they're going to get shut down.
Is it a true judge of what they can do, though? Because they're playing against lower-level talent, not what they're going to be playing if they make the main roster. Are you looking for technique? I mean, what are you looking at?
I would think, A, you're looking to see what do we need to work on? What do we need to grow? And B, look, if my guy can go out there and put up 23, 24 in the Summer League, he's good for 10, 12 in the league. Right? In the association, in the show. And I think that's it. I think it basically comes down to, can this guy ball? Can he go out against inferior talent and turn up and put up stats? Can he go out there and put up stats against inferior talent to the point that we believe he'll be able to do it in the show? Or do we need to let him come down here and get some XP? Come down here and get some time. Come down here, work on the moves just a little bit. I enjoyed it. I will also say yesterday was the first day I've watched full Summer League games. I watched Pels Hawks before the event. When the event ended, I stuck around for a little while and I watched Boston Milwaukee. Because Boston just came out of the NBA Finals. Milwaukee is trying to find the guy to supplant alongside Giannis. And this is their testing ground. This is the spot to find out. All right, let's take a break. A lot of stuff to get to in this show as we get ready for the Open Championship. We're going to talk a little bit about that because not only did Tiger Woods have some comments about LIV Golf, but the Department of Justice may be investigating the PGA Tour. What? I'll tell you about what. 3 questions I have seen asked repeatedly about the Deshaun Watson situation. I got answers for those coming up in a little while. And Tommy Bowden has spoken out about Clemson moving into a super conference. What did he have to say about it? All that more coming up on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
QC.
All right, hello, stream. Good morning, everyone. Lab, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. Josh, welcome in, my guy. Steven, of course, as always. Steven said if you're off every Tuesday, that it's not bad. Right. But I'm obviously not.
So are we going to see more, let's say, older women at Jets games wearing, like evening gowns and stuff
Hey,
like
Zach,
that?
I'm your mom's friend. Wearing evening gowns. The Jets are now a formal event
Don't be surprised.
for women over the age of 40.
Don't be surprised. You know how certain girls show up dressed certain ways at wrestling events
No, I don't. What are you talking
to
about?
make sure that they're viewed by the wrestlers?
They're what do they call it? Cleat chasers? Susan, she's lying to you. She's just running late because you're not a priority to her. Tired of people lying.
Wait a minute. This is how I normally speak.
You ever done commercials where you're acting in the commercial as opposed to just recording it?
I've had to go back and change things because I could tell I was reading,
Yeah.
and it's like, for the most part, they pick you and want you to be you in
Yeah.
a commercial, and then you realize you're not being you.
I mean, you can't.
Unless, of course, you're doing it on purpose for parody, for whatever.
You can't
Yeah.
script something, but then be like, but be yourself. Well, no, that's not how I talk.
I will change words and things just to see if they notice. Sometimes they do, and they make you use that word. And I'm like, I never have used that word before in my life. I didn't know how to spell it till I just saw it now. Okay.
Know how to spell it.
Well, Trey, they definitely are going to have a lot more attention this year than they normally would for a losing team. And they may have brought in a totally different fan base. It's a possibility.
Yeah. New demo, women aged 45 to 55.
He's pretty young. I would say anything above 30 is a cougar to him, right?
Yeah, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm old enough to have an 18-year-old child and it wouldn't be weird. Sometimes life just likes to remind you of things you didn't want to be reminded about. During the break, we got to talking about that story regarding Zach Wilson that broke yesterday. You know the one where Zach Wilson did the old bow chicka bow wow with one of his mom's best friends, according to
Allegedly.
his ex-girlfriend, who is now doing the bow chicka bow wow with his, I'm assuming, ex-best friend. Oh, as the world turns Jets edition. If you missed it, Zach and his girlfriend broke up a few months ago. Zach's now ex-girlfriend is now dating Zach's ex-best friend, BYU teammate and roommate. Then she got called a, and I quote, homie hopper on Instagram. after being called a homie hopper on Instagram, she responded to that commentor and said, yep, well, dude did the old unskinny bop, 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 bop with his mom's best friend. That's the real homie hopper. Now, we don't know if the reason that he and old girl split up is because he did the bow chicka bow wow with his mom's best friend, but that's her story, and she's sticking to it. So Trey brought up, if Zach Wilson doesn't have a good year, do you think the Jets will be willing to move on quicker than they did on Sam Darnold? To which Lonzo replied, the Jets probably have a new fan base coming in this year, courtesy of Zach Wilson. You know, the demo of women. And here's where my joke fell apart. I said, women age 45 up. To which Lonzo responded to me, well, dude's young. Anything over 30 is a cougar to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, by the way, is 22 years of age and was born in 1999. It reminded me that I am now of the age that if I had an 18-year-old child, nobody would sneeze at it. They'd be like, yeah, it seems about right. Rob got a bit of an early start, but it's not crazy, right? I am of the age where I could have a child playing professional sports and people would be like, yeah, that's RB4's dad up there in the stands, right? Look at him. He was a stud back in his day, in the old times, in the before times.
Yeah, the loud one up there in the 10th row.
Yeah. I'm old enough that if Zach Wilson slept with one of my friends, people would be like, oh, he's out there chasing cougs. Attaboy, Zach. Attaboy, Zach. If I slept with the same woman as Zach Wilson, that would be called the start of a normal relationship because Rob's the same age. Ugh.
This is why he doesn't like Tuesdays. He's having a self-realization kind of day.
Yeah, this is why Lonzo does, because he does that to me on Tuesdays. Hey, Rob, you having a great start of your show? Here's a refresher. Zach Wilson is getting high fives for sleeping with women who are your age.
Who broke the code here, though? I would say it's or the rules, the unwritten rules, whatever. It's Zach's former friend, right? More so than anyone. And this whole thing, dude. He is the one who did what you shouldn't do.
Here's what happened. You ready? Here's what happened. Do we have any like soap opera music queued up? Is there any soap opera music? Here's what happened.
So. I can look though.
Here's what happened. All right, in my head, in the nerd world, we have a thing we call headcanon, which is like, in my head, this is what happened, and you can't convince me otherwise. Here's what happened. Zach is an NFL quarterback, and Zach and his girl were on the, they were having a rough period, rough patch. It happens in every relationship, right? Every relationship has a tough patch. You get used to it. So, Zach and old girl were having a rough patch. Well, Zach went to hang out with mom. And when he was hanging out with mom was hanging out with a friend. I like it.
Not what you were looking for.
What I was looking
the
for,
exact opposite, but
I like it. I like it.
It still applies.
So Zach, you see, he went to hang out with old mom. And mom had mom's friend over for a night. You see, mom's friend, she saw Zach was having a tough time. His girlfriend wasn't talking to him. And he's the quarterback of the New York Jets. Things weren't going great for old Zach. So the mom's friend said, hey, why don't you come on over, Zach? I'll offer you some maternal advice. No, Zach thought to himself, yeah, she can help me through this rough patch. So her and Zach, they hit the old music that's playing right now. Well, see, then what happened was old girl, she found out. And Zach's lady was no longer Zach's lady. But you see, Zach's lady, she couldn't have old Zach and mom's friend have the last word now, could she? And ladies, what's the best way to break your ex-man's heart? Get with his best friend. You see, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. You see what I'm saying? So old girl, she went with Zach's best friend, and she just waited for her time to strike. And she did, putting Zach's personal business up on the gram. And that's where we stand on today's edition of As the World Turns, New York City.
I really appreciate your break in there to let the sax breathe a little.
Yeah, man.
That was
Yeah, man.
that was well done.
Yeah, man.
The name of this song is Cali Nights, by the way. Could be New York Nights. Could be.
Yes, indeed, it could. And let's just say old Zach and Zach's mom's friends, they had some really good New York nights. We got to take a break. We're back right after this on The Rob Brown Show and The Fan Upstate. That was the dumbest segment I've done in a week.
You're right, Stephen. The Sex Panther has returned.
Made me laugh.
It's going to make an awesome promo, though. So if you hated what you did, you're going to hear it 1,000 times.
Texter just said, fan, sigh, unzips.
You have a Harley in the next break.
Got him.
So the medicine is helping with my headache, but now I've reached that problem that I always have with sinus medicine where it feels like bugs crawling through your hair.
I need what sinus medicine you use so that I don't use it.
All sinus medicine does it to me. So,
Really?
yes. And it's not, I mean, these bugs, they have sharp mandibles or something. So, I mean, so the presence is very well known when they move around. Kind of
Terrifying.
like they're climbing the side of a building or something.
Don't like that at all.
That's funny, Trey. But if you decide to go that route, you're welcome.
My man said, put some gel in my hair. Hey, Lonzo, you know what? I take it back. Today's not bad. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell everybody what they're debating on a particular talking head show right now? What is the topic of conversation they're having right now?
Is Michael Jordan the GOAT over LeBron James?
I gotta tell you, after the segment we just did,
Quality, baby. Quality.
after the segment we just did to flip on a major talking head show and see that their topic today is Michael Jordan the GOAT over LeBron James. You know what? Remember the other day when I apologized to you guys because I didn't give you a show that was quality enough to be considered for Sports Talk Radio Show of the Year in South Carolina back-to-back years? At least I'm not coming up in here today and going, hey guys, who's better, Bron or Jordan? Phone lines are open. That's lazy as hell, my dude. I for the record, for the two people that asked, segments like what just happened a minute ago, Lonzo and I don't script that. That just happened.
Yeah, I made a decision and hoped something would go a certain way just then spontaneously because I couldn't find what was requested, and it did, and I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, it's kind of a lot of, all right, to me, the best radio is improv radio. It's not radio where everything is planned and has to happen in a certain amount of time and all that kind of stuff. We're willing to go directions that other people won't, and it's fun.
Yeah, let me tell you how my show prep looks for those of you that have never seen it before. Basically have two segments to a Google Doc that Lonzo and I have access to. And the top half is all of the show prep. The topics, the segments, the thoughts, the ideas, etc. And then before we sit down to do the show, I kind of think about where I'm going to plug those into the show and how they're going to fit and be organized, whatever. But then you start doing the show and whatever happens, happens. Like, for instance, right? You end up with a dumbass segment like that one.
I've had that music for a really long time. It's sitting right there in my hotkeys. Just never really had the opportunity
Save
to
it.
use it. If I find something, I'm willing to wait years until the opportunity arises. Never apologize for having fun.
I'd say that worked out.
Even on a Tuesday, Rob.
Even on a Tuesday. Even on a Tuesday. Trey said, after listening to that music, I don't even want to be at work anymore. I want to go put some gel in my hair and buy my wife flowers. Three of y'all texted some unsavory, inappropriate things to the text line during the break. I won't read them.
Were they funny? Okay.
Yes, they were very funny. I'm not going to read them on the air. Texter said, Rob, if the whole sports talk show thing doesn't work out, you might give Howard Stern a run for his money. I don't think so. I don't think I've got the
shock jock.
Yeah. I'm not a shock jock. I don't have Howard's caliber, right? All I'm saying is that segment was not planned. But somehow Zach Wilson's mom's friend got worked back into the conversation, and it happened.
Hey, this thing is not going away for a while. Talking about Zach Wilson.
It's hilarious. You know what it is?
It's not going away.
You know what it is? It's genuinely hilarious, right? It's genuinely funny. And at the end of the day, other than a roommate who totally violated the bro code, right? And a breakup, it's really no harm, no foul, right? Like, it's no harm, no foul. Zach Wilson's a 22-year-old man. If he wants to brown chicken, brown cow with the 36, 40-year-old woman, go ahead, fella. All my friends that have gotten with women of that age all say they're the best. They're the best. They know what they want, and then they kick you out. If that's what Zach Wilson's about, that life, go ahead, young man. The only thing that is offensive about this story is that old BYU roommate hopped into bed with Zach's old girl months after they split. Bro, you don't do that unless Zach was like, yeah, man, I'm done with her. She's all yours. Have at. But let's be real. He didn't.
And then she's like, I'll show you. Burn.
Yeah.
And now it's just been turned on her
Yeah.
to such a great degree that, I mean, this is the most positive publicity
100%.
Zach Wilson has ever gotten in his entire life.
The next thing that Zach needs to do is get mom's friend's permission to put up a picture of her if she's smoking hot. And just be like, hey, yeah, what a terrible, terrible decision it was for me, right? I mean, I don't know. The whole thing's done. I mean, maybe if Zach cheated on old girl with mom's friend, I guess that's
Maybe
like a jerk
she
move.
cheated on Zach with his best friend.
Right,
We
but-
don't know.
I mean, you ended up with his best friend like real quick. If somebody cheated, I'm not down with that. But I also look at this now, speaking of being old, I also look at this drama now as a 36-year-old man and go, oh my God, we were all so dumb at 22.
Can't wait for the signs, though. The signs are good. Hopefully they're tastefully done signs,
yeah.
but you know.
Boo 37! Boo 37! Zach's mom's friend on 2! Zach's mom's friend on 2!
Not the signs I was talking about, but still, that's pretty awesome.
Okay, oh, you talking about fan signs?
Yeah, I was talking about fan
Yeah.
signs, but you know.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a meme yesterday of Forrest Gump running down the road, and it was like, the caption was, Tom Brady when he remembers that Giselle is Zach Wilson's mom's friend too.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw that the Jets have signed Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Even though I've never watched the movie, I know enough about it to know who that is. So, yeah.
Oh man, Stifler's mom. Oh. Keegan said the old BYU roommate was his best friend 4 years. Yeah. Was emphasis on past tense. Like now, you ever had a situation Zoe, in your life where like Buddy A tried to get with Buddy B's ex? Little Jesse's girl situation going on there?
I did. We were at the mall one time, and I walked out of
How old were you in this story?
19.
Okay.
Walked out of the store ahead of one of my friends, and his then girlfriend walked in holding hands with another dude. We made
His then girlfriend.
yeah, we made
All right.
eye contact. She immediately turned around and they ran out. And then I had the decision to make. Do I tell him or not?
You did, right?
Oh, of course I
Bro
told
code.
him. Yeah, I told
Bro
him.
code.
I told him. But, it's like, the reason why I hesitated, because I knew how bad it was going to hurt him, but he needed to know.
You got to know.
Yeah, but he needed
gotta
to
know.
know. I mean, they walked in, I stood up, looked, and there was, 20 seconds of just, deer in the headlights look like, oh no, I just got busted.
So I think like everybody's had their Jesse's girl moment, right? Where you're like, dude, my buddy's girlfriend's amazing, right? Like and you've thought about it. If they split, I'm jumping in. I'm taking my shot, right? I'm shooting my shot. And some people are willing to throw away a friendship to shoot their shot with Jesse's girl. Zach went with Jesse's mom's girl. It's a whole different world, Zach. My man.
There have been whole movies about this, I think starting with The Graduate,
The Graduate.
And things like that. So it's not like,
Are you trying to seduce me?
I don't want to say it's uncommon. It's you see things and go, nah, that doesn't really happen. And now we know that it has.
2005, one fraternity brother slept with another fraternity brother's mom on a homecoming weekend. Our frat was never the same. Basically, single divorcee, by the way, hot mom, showed up at the frat house, decided to live her best life, going toe-to-toe with the boys in beer pong. Note to self, don't go toe-to-toe with the boys in beer pong. We're good. Got schmammered alongside the captain of the intramural quarterback of the intramural football team. Went back up to his room, came back down the next morning. This may shock you. There was a fist fight in the chapter house that day. There was a fist fight in the chapter house that afternoon. This was game day, by the way. This happened the night before game day. So game day, we're tailgating, trying to play beer pong again, and there's a fist fight.
Didn't turn into a brawl, though. It's just those two guys, right?
Just those two guys.
Okay,
Everybody
all
else, like, you gotta let it happen, right? Like, you gotta let that
Until someone picks up a pull cue. and
No,
then
that's
you
not
gotta-
how
okay.
that's not how those fights work. You gotta let that happen. That dude just went to bed with that dude's mom. That dude's got some rage pent up. Shockingly, that dude quit the fraternity.
Why do you let your mom show up to the fraternity
No,
house?
they do family weekends and stuff like that.
It
And
does.
it's totally fine. It's totally, listen, the only group you don't bring to the frat house is your sister. It's the only, and if you do, you better be like arm in arm with her the whole time. You don't expect your mom to show up at the frat house and go up to what did we call him the other day? Beef's bed.
Yes. All right. So it's your fraternity brother. So I'm guessing maybe you knew something about him. But I would think that if his mom had the propensity to do such things, he would know that and would make sure that mom didn't come to the party.
I don't know, dude. Do you know that about your mom?
You might.
You might, but you probably don't.
If mom shows up and is playing beer pong, you know what happens after that. That's when you take mom home.
No. Playing beer pong does not inherently turn you into a terrible person afterwards. You just
Who's
have
talking about whether you're a good person or not?
dude.
Woman
if you-
shows up, she's drunk. Chances are someone's going to try to take advantage of
Yeah.
her. That's your mom.
But you expect
take
mom to
No.
go, yeah, no. I'm not going to bet it down with my son's friends.
no, you take your mom home.
Unless your
That's-
son's
I
friend's
mean,
an NFL quarterback, apparently.
he might as well have pimped her out by letting her stay there. And if he's listening now, I don't care. I mean, you take your mom home, man. You don't let her do that, and then get mad about it the next day when partially it's your fault for allowing it to happen.
Hey, look.
By the way, Faces and Heels today at
11:30.
20 yeah.
Face and heel. My fraternity brother bagged my mom. I beat the hell out of him. Face and heel. Little Zach. All right. We won't do this again. We won't do another segment of Zach. Tommy Bowden had some things to say about Clemson potentially joining a super conference. What was it? Tell you when we come back on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Up State. Tell you about my friends at Harley Davidson of Greenville, ladies and gentlemen. If you were looking
And we're back. Sort
We're
of.
back.
Except for I didn't push the brand thing.
We weren't back.
We were back audibly, but we just weren't back visual. Now we're back. Not baby back, but back.
All right. Hour number 2. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Is Michael better or LeBron better? Will anyone ever touch Wayne Gretzky's record?
Who is the better rival?
What's the best rivalry in all of sports?
How can we make South Carolina fans mad?
What's your favorite sports movie? Actually, you know what I thought about last night? Our movie roster. That's what I went with. I've been told, Zoe, our options are bagels and danishes.
All right, I don't want anything then.
Stop it.
I told you though.
Stop it.
No, seriously, I don't want anything if that's the only
All
option.
right, fine.
Yeah.
I'll take 2 and say one's for you then.
If you want to.
It's fine by me. Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt my feelings.
Not
Hurts
the-
my diet, not my feelings.
Not down with the bread, yo.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2 of the show starts now. I'm Rob. He's the great Malonzo. Good to have you along for the ride. Let's get, we talked about best players. None of you care about Los Angeles sports. I know that. Half the people in, 3/4 of the people in Los Angeles don't care about Los Angeles sports. But I have a gripe that I can't keep off the radio. By the way, texter during the break, Lonzo, said, I used to be known as the mom slayer. People knew if they brought their moms around, all bets were off. This was an understanding, so there were no fights. Sir, you're a liar. You're a liar.
I choose to believe, and you're assuming it's a guy. I choose to believe that that the texter is telling the truth. I mean, you don't just come up with a name like the Mom Slayer. I mean,
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do.
That kind of fabrication doesn't exist on this station.
You absolutely 100,015%. We're not known as the Mom Slayer.
All right, I choose to believe that, and if the Mom Slayer was around, I would not bring my mom to said party.
Do you want a smoothie?
Would you?
Do you want a smoothie?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Vanilla Chai?
I think it's Kai, but no.
Java chip frappe?
All right, I don't drink coffee, and due to citrus problems with my
Gotcha.
stomach, I can't. I'm not quite on the level of another host on this station who can't do anything.
Coffee's gross. I don't get
it's coffee's for adults, and this is the show for your boys, not men. So,
And also, that guy totally was not the Mom Slayer. That's not a thing.
I completely believe it. It was the Mom Slayer.
Yeah, I'm sure there are dudes that are known for maybe they got with one of their friends' moms. Nobody ran through enough of their friends' moms to become the Mom Slayer.
Hey, you grew up in Florida. I'm guessing that
all the moms in Florida are hot, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with it.
If there was a Mom Slayer, they'd be from where I'm from, but there wasn't.
Right. So nobody in your group was like that.
There was that
Oh,
one guy in my fraternity.
I was gonna say you weren't the guy in the group, right? So I left that part out. It could have been you. You could have been the Mom Slayer. I don't know.
I was not the Mom
You
Slayer.
just talked about how all the moms were hot.
I was not they were. It's Florida. Florida's awesome. But I was not the Mom Slayer. Anyway.
You already broke the rule. You said it wouldn't come back up, but you got to read the text. So
listen. I can
should
say,
Mom Slayer send you some sort of proof? What kind of proof would you want? where you go, okay, yeah.
You getting your ass kicked at about 3 different times in your life for bagging your
No,
buddy's mom.
he just said it was known that that's what he did. So people were smart enough not to bring their mom.
You know what makes me cast doubt on that story? What makes me cast doubt on this story is there was an understanding. There's an understanding that if I bring my mom around you, you're going to sleep with my mom and I'm just expected to be cool with it. No.
Well, let's say you had an attractive sister and you were very protective of said sister.
Yeah.
Would you bring someone like Rob around? Because if you did, he's going to hit on that sister. That's just life. That's how that works.
I would do no such thing, sir.
Making your Tuesday bright. That's what I do.
No such thing, sir.
All right. So, listener, I choose to believe you are who you say you are. I'm not negative like Rob.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That did not happen. You were not called the mom slayer, and you did not reach an agreement with your friends that if they brought their mom around, you were gonna go home with her, and there would be no fights about it.
Didn't say there was agreement. He said it was an understanding. So those people understood. Hey, I don't bring my mom around because this dude's gonna hit on her.
That is a one-way ticket to ass-kicked city. 100%. I am not, dude, I've never been in a fight in my life. Never in my life. But if I found out that one of my dudes went with my mom, he's catching hands. He's catching smoke. 100%. All right. LA sports. I got a gripe I can't keep off the radio because it is dumb and bad. The LA Angels of Anaheim. Since May 25th, the team is about 11-32 now. Since May 25th, 11-32. The Angels were 7 games back in the AL wild card race. And 19 games out of first place in the AL West. The problem with that, after they fired Joe Maddon a number of weeks ago, and oh, by the way, because the Phillies fired Joe Girardi, and the Phillies got better, right? They fired an inept manager, and they got better out the gate. The Angels fired Joe Maddon, and they still suck. Now, being a bad baseball team isn't the gripe, right? Being a bad baseball, okay. That same texter, Lonzo, says, I'm sorry, I'm going to get to this segment. Texter says, for the record, it was an understanding that I would try to get with their mom. It only actually happened once. Well, then you're not a mom slayer, my guy.
Yeah, I think
you're the dude who got with one of your friend's moms.
There are multiple attempts, apparently, but only one success.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen. If a fighter pilot shoots down one bad guy, he doesn't get to go home and call himself ace. You got me?
Even if he shot at a bunch of other,
Yeah, if you shot 1,000 missiles in one hit, that's actually worse. Come on, man. Come on. All right. So the Angels fired Joe Maddon. They still suck. 11-32 since May 25th. It's been all downhill. Now, here's why I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this, Lonzo, because on this team, they have the best player in Major League Baseball history so far. Throw the Lonzo caveat on the end. The best player in Major League Baseball history so far in Mike Trout. Mike Trout is the best baseball player of all time. They also have on the same team the second best baseball player active today, Shohei Ohtani. You know, that guy that's on the cover of the show this year because he's so damn good. That guy that last year caused the question of, can he be the face of baseball when he speaks Japanese? And baseball went, yeah, because he's really good. This team has not one, but two of the best two players in Major League Baseball on their roster, and they suck, man. How can you be that bad? How can you be that bad? How can you be so bad when you have not one but two of the best players in Major League Baseball? I don't understand it. Imagine being an LA Angels fan and having the two best players in Major League Baseball today on your team, having made a serious number of moves during the offseason to, for the first time in Mike Trout's career, actually build a lineup around him, to actually put guys into the 3 and 5 slot to give him a chance to have some ribbies, to give him a chance to make the playoffs. And what do they do with it? They are 7.5 freaking spots out of the AL wildcard. And by the way, outside of the American League East, the American League sucks. It's bad. The Central is bad. The West is bad. Thanks, Kristen. You're the best. Those two divisions are terrible. The wild card's all they got. And the Angels can't even be in that race when the AL sucks as a whole with the two best players in baseball?
How is this any different than having the two best players in basketball and not being able to win?
Because that doesn't happen. Who would you say has had in the NBA, and we'll go recent memory. In recent memory, who would you say had the best two, was the least successful team with the most amount of talent? And I won't accept Brooklyn because Kyrie was only available half the games. Shohei and Mike Trout are available every game.
All right,
Neither one of them
let's
misses
stay
time.
in California and go with Kawhi.
The Clippers?
Yes.
It's not a bad option. But who would you say is the Shohei to Kawhi's Mike Trout?
What's his name? Who came there from Indiana, and I hate that I'm forgetting his name. It was a big deal. I think he's the guy who broke his leg on the
Paul George?
Paul George, yes. Big name for a while, and the whole
sure.
and the whole thing, especially when Kawhi went there, because Kawhi left Toronto after winning a championship and went there to play with Paul George and supposedly win a championship there, and they did nothing.
That's not unfair.
You can say Paul George is lesser, but he still was at the time he was one of the guys that was talked about all the time.
Paul George is a dude. I don't think I would say Kawhi. I'd be happy to compare Kawhi to Shohei. Paul George ain't Mike Trout. I mean, I'm trying to think of a team in history that had the two best players of their sport on at the same time and failed.
You could go with LeBron and AD, but injuries were involved
Exactly.
with all that. So
Exactly.
and when they were both fairly healthy, they won the championship.
Title.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly right. I can't think of another team in any and I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I'm saying I can't think of one. That's why the phone's open at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. And the text line's open at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN FM. We'll read them on the air. I cannot think of another team that has not just the best, but the best and second best players on their roster, healthy, available, and suck like the Angels suck. I would be livid if I had the best baseball player in history so far in Mike Trout And the best all-around player in baseball today in Shohei Ohtani, and as this texter just said, Mike Trout, in what, 7 seasons, Lonzo? 0 playoff wins. Best player in baseball, 0 playoff
See,
wins.
I don't think baseball is talked about in the same way that other sports are about a great player being on a bad team. The way, it is for football or the way it is for basketball. Baseball, it's just like, yeah, he signed a big contract. Baseball, it seems to be more about the money than it is the fact that he's probably never going to win a championship.
I would agree that baseball is not talked about when it comes to talent the way that other sports do, right? Like we're watching the same talking head show we were watching a little while ago discussing LeBron v. Michael, who's the GOAT? And they're talking about Luka. Will Luka win multiple titles with the Mavs, right? Because we talk about one player being the guy. We talk about one player being the dude when it comes to the NBA. Hell, we do that. We do that with the NFL, don't we? One quarterback. They bring in a team brings in a top-tier quarterback, and they are immediately elevated to playoff expectations. We don't really do that in baseball. Baseball, it's more talked about as a lineup. Baseball, it's more talked about as a top-to-bottom 1-9 and defensive lineup. Sure, it's one of the reasons I like baseball. But when you've got the best 2 players in the game on your team, and you can't get Mike Trout 1 playoff win, Lonzo, I don't know what it would take for Rob Brown to go, I'm taking a break from this team for a little while. I don't know what it would take because it hasn't happened where I go, I think I'm going to cool the jets on my squad for a minute. But I got to think having the 2 best players in the sport, maybe ever, and not being able to win a playoff game, that might be the trigger for me. If I'm an Angels fan, I might be on a break right now. That's just me. Texas says, what about the Tigers rotation years ago? Verlander, Scherzer, Price, Prince Fielder, Miggy, and couldn't win a World Series. Swept by the Giants. Yeah, but the Giants were damn good. That's them getting to a World Series. I'm not saying it's not a disappointment to be that good and not get a ring. It is. But I want you to put that in comparison, yeah? Put that in comparison. I want you to compare that to Trout and Shohei Ohtani not getting a single playoff win together. The 2 best in baseball, and they can't win not a World Series, not a pennant, not a playoff series. They can't win a playoff game. I don't know where my breaking point is where I go, nah, I'm out. I can't do it. But I think the Angels would have hit it at this point. I am trying to think of a team that has had more talent. I am trying to think of a team that has had more ability and done less than the LA Angels of Anaheim. Would you walk away if that was your squad? All right, let's take a break. Texter says, this is a different texter, Lonzo. A different texter said, I was known as the mom slam dunk artist, and this is Bo who attached his name to it. Bo said, I'll throw it out there. Bo said he was known as the mom slam dunk artist. Do you believe that one? They called you the mom slam dunk. That is a nickname, Bo. You are telling me your friends called you the mom slam dunk artist.
All right, so this is not according to sources, Bo put his name on it. How can you not believe that?
Bo owned it.
You put your name on it, then people can check.
Look, I'm going to tell you this.
Bo knows moms.
When I was in my more young and formidable days, Rob Brown was in good shape and in a band. And Rob Brown, I will say, had the opportunity to go home with many moms after rock and roll shows. Okay? Never once did my friends call me the mom slam dunk artist or the mom slayer.
Well, that would be because you didn't go home with any of the moms that were in your band.
Yeah, you know why? Because I'm not a terrible person.
And they probably would have hurt you in some way.
Let's take a break. Come back here in just a minute. Got a few more things I want to get into. Next up, Tommy Bowden's got some comments about Clemson potentially joining a super conference. He's got a preference, but I don't think he's really thought out what's next behind it. We'll talk about that when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. He is Lonzo, the great one. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
The official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks. The official healthcare provider
You might want to do that, by the way, because I don't know if, as it melts, if it will come up over top of the.
It sure is. Yes, Susan, that's what she said. What'd you do?
All right, so
It's a cheese Danish, and I forgot what the other one I got was. My mother just texted me and said, "How's that diet going?" Terribly. But this will shock you. This is a coffee, and I like it. I don't like coffee. Of course, it's coffee just containing chocolate syrup, white chocolate syrup, and caramel syrup. So it's not even really coffee. It's really just a milkshake. Get over there.
it's the bugs, man. It's the bugs. Get them off me. I just want to scratch my head because I don't want it to look like winter over here.
Gross. But thanks, I guess. All right, you guys got to stop with the Zach Wilson text. We've now just gone down the rabbit hole. You don't have to stop. I love them. Keep them coming forever,
I
please.
was going to say, that's
Please
the
keep them going
opposite.
forever.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Wow. Now they're just going to quit.
Yeah, no, keep them coming forever. Texter said, I had two buddies in a band, and the guitarist kissed the drummer's mom. They kicked him out. He was a Delta Bravo. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. If you are the dude that makes a run at your buddy's mom, you're a Delta Bravo. 100%.
What if the mom is making a run at him?
No, you still don't.
No, I agree. I agree. But if the mom is doing all the advances, he's kind of in a situation. He doesn't want to offend the guy's mom because it's going to make him mad about that. He also doesn't want to accept the advances. So just quit, I guess.
Oh, you mean the band
Just
as a
quit.
whole?
Just quit the band
No.
because
You
things
go
are
to
not
the
going to end
guitarist.
well.
You go to the guitarist
And tell
you
him,
say,
hey, your mom's hitting on me.
Yeah.
You're going to get punched in the face for that because
No.
it's his mom and he's not going to believe it. And as you said earlier with the fraternity thing, people don't believe that
no,
of their mom.
Straight
so.
up, your mom is not welcome at our shows anymore. Either your mom's not coming or I'm not coming. Or your mom is coming and I'm going to be there too, and we're going to go home together. So it's really up to you what happens next. Your pick. All right.
Or you say, hey, who's your dad?
How do we... Hey, Greg. No. It's not Greg anymore. It's stepdad. All right. I got to get away from this. My mother's listening to this show, Lonzo. Knock it off.
Yeah,
believe
like
you-
it's me.
You have brought this level of depravity you've brought to this show.
Well, that's what
Unbelievable.
I've been known for in the upstate for 2 decades.
Yeah.
Depravity.
Just the sheer immorality you bring to the airwaves. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hey, so Mike Florio has put out some stuff about the Deshaun Watson situation. Florio said that where we are right now is effectively an intermission. And there's a lot more that has to be asked. By the way, for the one of you that texted me, where's the Tommy Bowden stuff you promised? It's next. I have 2 minutes in this segment. I don't want to get into it with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, he has been teasing for 2 hours. I
We
appreciate
have
it.
been on the air an hour and a half, Lonzo. Thank you very much.
He started talking about it before we went on the air. They don't know, and you can't prove it's not true.
Well, if they don't know, I haven't been teasing it. If I did, they'd know.
No, I'm telling them that it happened, so it did.
Anyway,
Just like Mom Slayer.
Mom Slayer. Florio called it the an intermission. It's not so much the final act as it is the intermission at this point. We're waiting on the post-hearing briefs that were expected by last Friday, which means at the earliest, the jointly appointed disciplinary committee made up of Judge Sue Robinson and nobody else could render a decision against the Browns would be within basically 2 weeks from last Friday. That is the expectation. But what is interesting is that according to Florio, Robinson was presented by the NFL a disciplinary argument that was reported to contain the stories of 5 women. It has now come out that it is actually just 4 women, not 5. We do not know if there ever was a 5th that was interviewed, a 5th that was included in the report, or if that was just one person said it and it ran with the story. But according to Florio, the NFL centered it on 5 women initially. Looks like it is now 4. But here's what's interesting in Florio's breakdown. Florio said, and I quote, "The Deshaun Watson hearing has ended. Some information from a source with knowledge of the proceedings. A, the NFL interviewed 12 alleged victims, and the hearing focused on 5 of the women making allegations against Watson. And B, the case presented by the NFL included no evidence of violence, threat, force, or coercion by Deshaun Watson." End quote. That's really interesting. If the NFL did indeed include no evidence of violence, threat, force, or coercion by Deshaun, then the question becomes, and by the way, this is from somebody. This is from somebody that has been tuned into this story a great deal. It was the coercion. It was the assault, though not violent assault, that kind of made this the big story in the first place, right? Like, I am genuinely interested in what is in the NFL's report that they're giving to Judge Robinson here. Granted, there does not need to be violence. There does not need to be verbal threat for there to be assault. But the line that kind of made me interested in this, the line that kind of got me interested in this was the last line, which is, quote, "nor any kind of physical conduct that would constitute assault." I would need them to define assault in this case. Do we mean assault as in violence, or do we mean assault as in sexual assault? Because if there's nothing that you submitted that would constitute sexual assault, what are we doing here?
That's a good question. I'm also curious if it is 4, is it the 4 that are still suing him? Or is it just they picked 4 out of the 20-something?
I genuinely do not know. I don't know. And I don't know that we will be able to know until these reports that have been filed by the NFL and by Deshaun Watson's camp become public. When will that happen? Question mark. No idea. None at all. Will it happen at all? I don't know. I don't know if it will happen at all. But I don't think that we will know. I don't know that we will know until they go public. And that could be, frankly, it could be never, right? Judge Robinson might read these reports, render her decision, and then drop those papers right into the old shred machine.
If this is true and the NFL is worried about public image, why the fact that it's only 4, isn't there going to be an outcry because it's only 4?
Yeah, 100%. 100% there's going to be that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, depending on what the punishment is and depending on how Judge Robinson labels it, if she comes out and she says, hey, look, the NFL did not present enough evidence to justify what we would define as sexual assault, and therefore I'm going to issue a 2 or 4 game or 0 game punishment because Deshaun was basically doing stuff he didn't need to be doing as an NFL player, but none of it was illegal per se, then yeah, there's going to be an outcry. But I think the NFL is going to hit a point where they realize that it'll blow over at some point, right? They'll sit him down for 4 or 6, maybe 8, maybe half the season. And it'll blow over because while a lot of people will rant and rave about Deshaun getting off the hook, how many of them are going to stop watching football? Some, a few. That's just what, if we're just being honest, that's just what we are nowadays. That's just where we are. That's just what we are. So, I'm intrigued. I will be interested as hell to read the NFL's report. What did they include? What did they not include? Right? We know that they never went and talked to the DA who prosecuted Deshaun's case in the opening county, in the first county that it took place. We know that they only interviewed a handful of the women who levied lawsuits, not all of them. I was working under the assumption, which is probably on me, but I was working under the assumption that that the reason they didn't talk to all those women was because the stories all matched up, right? It's like if you got to go look through reports, sometimes you look for the pattern, right? And if there's 300 reports to look through and you find the pattern through the first 100 of them, then after that you can kind of glaze through the rest and make sure that pattern holds. And as long as it does, you got a pretty justifiable reason to believe that things are consistent. I'm not saying it's how you should live your life. I'm saying most people do.
But at the same time, if you are on the outside looking in, you're the public, you're looking, you could almost, and I'm not saying this is a conspiracy, but this could happen, that the NFL finds the 4 least of the accusations to give to the judge because they got a better shot of getting him back on the field.
Maybe. I mean, again, I don't suspect the NFL is overall that worried about getting him back on the field, with the exception of not having him sue the league and drag this thing into an uglier outcome down the line. All right, we'll talk more about it later, but let's get this Tommy Bowden thing. When we come back, my name is Rob Brown. The Greatman Lonzo's at the helm, and you are listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Well done on the
I know.
Rob hitting on somebody's sister
I know.
joke. That was,
I
was
got
just exceptionally well put together.
If you draw attention, I lose deniability.
That's why I did it on the stream only. That doesn't get watched.
Why does he feel good?
As good as he should. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good. So good. I got a you. I saw that too, Trey. Pauly Shore coming to town.
Was it last week when we brought up Pauly Shore?
Yep.
And suddenly he
Right
appears.
there. We're influencers, dude.
If you're listening, Pauly, come on the show.
Yeah, man.
We got a seat open for you, dude. We'll do 3 hours of Encino Man.
Hey, buddy.
When Brandon Fraser was a caveman.
The absolute best. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Rob Alonzo with you. So, we're all kind of taking in this conference expansion story as it continues from around all of college football. And Tommy Bowden has decided to chime in. Former Clemson coach said what I told you a couple of days ago. Quote, geographically, historically, and culturally, I just think they'd be a better fit in the SEC. It would just increase their marketability. Of course, Clemson has been an ACC member from the beginning back in 1953. Been there the entire time. But after the announcement that USC and UCLA will be joining the Big Ten a couple of weeks ago, the question has been, who's next? And Clemson seems to be very high on that list. And the question was, where does it end up? Where does the school end up playing? Is it the SEC? Is it the Big Ten? Is it an ACC Pac-12 alliance? Where do they end up playing at? Tommy says says the SEC would be the landing spot for Clemson if you went based on fit. His reason for it, quote, they've got the passion, the fanaticism, and backing and the commitment from the administration, all the things that most of the SEC schools have. Of course, Clemson, Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, largest stadium in the ACC, 15th largest in the country at over 81,500. Tigers have finished top 20 nationally in home attendance for 41 consecutive seasons. Bowden said that game days at Clemson are comparable to SEC road trips like Georgia, LSU, Florida, Texas A&M, etc. He said, Clemson, you're playing in front of 80,000. Unfortunately for the ACC, you didn't have that passion, that following, and that enthusiasm everywhere. You go to Wake Forest, and it's 17,000 people. You go to Duke, and there's 12,000, end quote. Of course, obviously, the attendance numbers have skyrocketed under Dabo Swinney with all the success that he has been having, and that's kind of changed things a little bit. But even Clemson in their down years was putting up more than the bottom half of the ACC. And Bowden said finally the talent level at Clemson is, quote, on par, end quote, with the SEC. He said there would be, quote, a little bit more of a challenge in the week-to-week opponents for Clemson, end quote, with the move. But that because of the fact that the talent is there, that Clemson is now paying enough to their star coordinators and they're not losing them to the SEC like they used to do, and that Clemson is already a force in recruiting in the SEC, Clemson to the or in the South, Clemson to the SEC would make the most sense. That they've proven they would be an SEC contender, that they've proven that they would fit within the SEC, that they would absolutely compete within the SEC, and I actually do agree with that. I think they would. It wouldn't be quite as easy as winning the ACC, but sure, they would certainly compete there. All of that being said, it's all about money. All right? Tommy knows that. Tommy ain't no fool. Tommy ain't no fool. Tommy knows this. It's all about the dollar bill, y'all. And because it's all about the dollar bill, y'all, Clemson's going to go wherever the most money is involved, right? I think one of the reasons we're kind of going to hit, and I've told you, I think we're going to kind of hit a slowdown here. I think we're kind of going to hit a slowdown here in regards to expansion, because the next thing that needs to be figured out for the SEC and the Big Ten primarily is just how much money are they going to have to divvy up between schools, right? Because the Big Ten, if I recall correctly, the Big Ten works out a new television contract in 2024. The SEC, right behind them in 25. They're going to be able to go, and they're going to be able to, with the schools they have now in hand at that point, right? USC, UCLA will be in the Big Ten at that point. Texas, Oklahoma will be in the SEC at that point. And when they get there, those two schools are going to, or those two conferences are going to be able to bid out their media rights agreements. They're going to see how much money is on the table. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, one, if not both of those conferences will be getting well north of $1 billion, right? Guarantee it. Somebody, probably the four-letter, is going to give the Southeastern Conference a bill to have exclusive rights to SEC football. Watch. With Texas and Oklahoma in the fold, it's a guarantee. So I think you'll see those two conferences chill out on expansion until one of two things happens. A, Notre Dame calls one and goes, you know what, we want in. B, the conferences find out just how much money their new media rights agreements are going to hold. And then they go, okay, we can or cannot justify adding X to Y more teams. Take a break. Back after this. 1 hour left on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. So NASA was supposed to go live stream today with the next round of images from the James Webb Telescope. Except for apparently NASA can't figure out how to get a live stream up. NASA.
You mentioned that. That's
NASA.
NASA, yeah.
Can't get a live stream up.
Hey, you and I can do live streams. We're doing one right now.
Hello, everybody.
Got to be a gamer in the at NASA who could say, all right, let's throw up some OBS real quick. We'll
Right.
get this thing up here.
Guys, you guys just want to use my Twitch channel?
Yeah. We throw up my Xbox. We'll just do it right here.
Throw it on the Xbox?
Yeah.
We got Susan's name. Did we ever find out other lady's name? The lady who's lying about being late? I don't think we do, right?
I don't know. I'm desensitized, so I can't. Yeah.
Like this commercial out now.
Yeah. It's reached that point where I've heard it enough where I don't hear it anymore.
Did you ever hear the commercial for Dockers khakis with stain defender? There was a commercial that ran for literally the entire 6.5, 7 years I broadcasted on my station down in Florida. And it was these two guys driving in a car, and the guy's like, pour some orange juice on my pants. The other guy's like, what? And he's like, I've got Dockers khakis with stain defender. It'll just beat up and roll off. The other guy pours the juice, and he's like, whoa, stop. And he's like, oh, you told me to do it. I know, but I'm thirsty, and I'm out of juice now. And the other guy's, oh, dear. And he goes, don't call me dear. No, there's a deer in the road. That commercial ran for 8 years.
You sure that that just someone didn't update it and it just
I'm 100% sure. Speaking of, I finally went through and read the majority of the Lambda transcript, and I 100% want to do a dramatic reading of it.
I told you it's interesting. It's very interesting. Whatever side you fall on, it's well done. Especially if that is an actual conversation between the two.
I was going to say, the other part is, I read through it, not 100% sure that guy didn't just write that, you know?
Except for there were, according to the story, he was not the only engineer.
Okay, who's the other guy?
He's
not listed.
They don't name the other engineers,
right.
But as McAfee calls him, Sweet Blake, and they found a picture of him like in a top hat. I don't know if it was them saying it that guy looked like him, but the guy looked like him, and it could have been him, and it was, yeah.
Yes, I am tired of companies like Google and Facebook. Is that the end of the question, or was there more?
We here at the Fan Upstate appreciate all of our sponsors, even the ones that Rob just did.
Facebook.
Whether we are or not, we know they're listening.
Google's always listening. Mom Slayer. Now I want a shirt with a Slayer logo on it, but in the same font it says Mom above it.
Who wins in a fight, Mom Slayer or Beef?
Beef. Beef is the Mom Slayer. Beef would totally do your mom. And not even think twice about it.
You ever had the urge to just go downstairs and plop down in Steve's office and in some of his furniture and just sit there till he asks you to leave?
Yep.
When he says, "Can I help you?" You say, "No, I'm good."
Nope, I might.
Or, "What's in the fridge, Steve?"
I've also wondered how far we could get away with that Iron Man helmet that he has in there.
Oh, there's some sort of alarm system on that for sure.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. What to be with you? I am Rob Brown. Directly across from me, the Sultan of Swag, the Professor of Perfection, the Wizard of Wave. He is the Great One, Lonzo. We are glad to have you along for the ride. Give us a buzz, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N, and we will read them on the air. Like this text who says, "Fan, I was known as the Milfinator to all my frat bros." No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You 100% are not. We're not. Am not. You weren't the Milfinator. Dude, Bo wasn't the mom slam dunk artist. And that other texter wasn't the mom slayer. None of you were those things. None of you were that. You might have been in your own head. You might have in your own head been like, I am the mom slayer. But you weren't, dude. The Milfinator was not a thing that you were ever called. In fact, if I may continue, the American Pie references that you so much love on the show, the only person that would call themselves the Milfinator was the Shermanator. That's the only guy that would do that. Why? Because he was tired of being called the Shermanator by his friends. So he was like, "No, I'm the Milfinator, guys." No.
What would you say? What percentage would you give any of this being accurate? You know, we've got 3 individuals who've said that they
the Milfinator, the mom slam dunk artist, and the mom slayer.
So any chance any of those guys did anything they said?
No. None. 0%. Not one of them.
Okay, here's what I would say. Any of you guys have someone from your circle text us and tell us that is true.
Oh, I know. I need a
71307. No, we don't want pictures. We don't want pictures of video.
No, I don't want pictures. But a text ain't gonna do it. Text ain't gonna do it.
We don't want a phone call on this either.
Yes, I do.
No.
Absolutely do.
I don't.
Absolutely do. You get any of your friends to call in to swear an oath of truthiness to me and Lonzo, and then tell me that they referred to you as the Milfinator, as the mom slam dunk artist, or as the mom slayer, and I will allow you to self-brand yourself as that on the show moving forward. You may send every text and sign it off as whatever that name is. I'm here for it.
I just want to make a point so it's recorded that I don't want to have anything to do with the phone call.
I will guest produce my own show that day because it's not happening.
I am more concerned with FCC than I am, content.
We got a button for that.
Yeah, we do, but you can only push. You can only push it so many times.
Texter said hashtag that Rob is the hate-anator. No, I'm not. I'm the 100%. You were not called the Milfinator-anator.
He is the guy. Man, I don't believe that. Man, I don't believe that. You don't believe anything, Rob.
No, I don't believe that things are. Listen, I'm not saying some of y'all ain't made out with your friend's mom.
Oh,
Skrilla.
even your guys coming up there, yeah, saying, and this is someone you know. So are you doubting Josh?
No, I'll believe Skrilla, but I for the record, the old smoochy smooch at the dive bar is not going to earn you the name Milfinator, Mom Slam Dunk Artist, or Mom Slayer.
Yes, it would with your.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will with your boys, because you tell your boys things went somewhere, and they're gonna believe it because they're your guys and your crew and all that. So it absolutely could get you that nickname.
Texter says all these guys making claims that they got with their friends' moms may have played on the Cleveland Cavs with LeBron. Who was it? Who was the Delonte West? Delonte West allegedly had an affair with LeBron's mom. Remember that? It was like, what was it, like 2009? Let me see here. Hang on.
Wait, and LeBron didn't beat him up?
I don't know how. Yeah. We all witnessed LeBron James. This is from Bleacher Report. We all witnessed LeBron James' epic collapse in the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals. We watched as he shot a combined 34% from the field in the final three games. We scratched our heads as he moved indifferently around the court at half speed during the most critical moments. It was only later that Delonte West's rumored affair with Gloria James, LeBron's mom, seemed to explain LeBron's statistical deterioration. As LeBron fell, so did the Cavs. The degeneration of team chemistry was equally multiple large SAT words that I don't want to try to pronounce on the air. Calvin Murphy stated in an interview that, quote, unfortunately, my sources in the NBA tell me that the rumors about Delonte and Gloria are absolutely true. My sources, and they're legit, tell me that the only people that didn't know what was happening was LeBron and me, end quote. Because that's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that the majority of y'all who would have got with your mom's friends would have done it and then not said a damn word about it, right? Because you would have had the clarity that comes post-coitus and woke up the next day and been like, oh, he is gonna kick my, he is gonna kill me. Hey, Mrs. Robinson, do me a favor. Let's keep this one on the DL so that your sweet little baby doesn't find out and turn into a psychopath.
Unless you think the son is SAWFT and you got that and it's no big deal. You could do what you want because the son ain't gonna do anything.
I would hope that, like, dude, if you go with a dude's mom, you already got no respect for that cat, right? It's one thing.
What if it's love, Rob?
Yeah, it's not. It's absolutely not. You could. It is one thing of, hey, bro, can I take your sister on a date? Right? Because you can go, we're the same age. We obviously have things in common because we both like you. Right? You have my word. I won't make a move unless it gets serious. Can I take your sister on a date? And you show the respect of asking. And you still might do it even if they say no. If you go home with dude's mom, you already disrespected that cat. Delonte. All right, let's get a couple more stories in here before we take a break. Tiger. Oh no, let's do this one. We got to take a break for Faces and Heels coming up shortly. But the PGA Tour has announced that it is under investigation by the U.S. government to see if it is engaged in anti-competitive behavior in its attempt to fend off the rise of the LIV Tour. Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan is across the pond at the 150th U.S. Open. The American circuit was put into the position where they had to confirm to the media that the Department of Justice is running a probe into possible antitrust actions in relation to the LIV Golf Series, which has held two $25 million events, one in the UK, one in the US. The Wall Street Journal reported that players' agents have received inquiries from the DOJ involving both the PGA Tour's bylaws governing players' participation in other golf events and the PGA Tour's actions in recent months relating to LIV Golf, end quote. The Journal reports that players' agents have received inquiries from the DOJ. Those are official. And with the acknowledgement of the validity of the story, Sawgrass HQ sought to play it down. They said, quote, this was not unexpected. We went through this in 94, and we are confident in a similar outcome, In that 4-year investigation 28 years ago, lawyers at the FTC decided to seek government action to nullify the rules that all professional golfers must accept as a condition of joining the PGA Tour. Then the tour took the matter all the way to Congress, and the anticipated changes never reached fruition. But there is remain consternation about the tour's status, particularly as it has charitable status, and the Live Legal team believes it has a solid case if and when the issue reaches court, end quote. We don't know what the changes are going to be. We don't know what the changes are going to be. But I would suspect one of them is going to be you cannot ban a player from playing golf elsewhere and tell them they're not allowed on tour, which will be interesting, right? Because if the PGA Tour does have a charity status, right? And I don't know that they're like a full-on 501c3 or what, but if they do have charity status, they do not get to make the claim that we are a private business and therefore can make our own decision about who is and is not allowed to work for us. If they have some sort of tax-exempt status, and this article is true, by the way, the source that I'm quoting this from is from James Corrigan of The Telegraph. If that is accurate and the PGA Tour has any level of charitable tax-exempt status, then they have surrendered their right to say we're a private business and therefore we can decide who we hire and who we fire, who can and can't work for us. And that'll be interesting. The DOJ getting involved. That seems kind of big for the tour.
It also means that Live has really good lawyers and kind of like,
the Saudis are billionaires.
Yeah, they're saying this, and you might want to check into that.
Yeah, because the Live Tour wants their guys on the PGA Tour too, right? They want their guys on event weekends. The Live Tour is out. They want the Live Tour guys to go win PGA Tour events. All right, let's get Kevin is on the line. Kev, welcome back, big fella.
What up, fellas?
What's happening, guy?
Oh, man, let me tell you how this thing roll on the real style. Zach Wilson been messing with this lady for about 3 or 4 years now, and it just now got out. Now, if Zach Wilson go out and take the Jets to the divisional playoff round, and he have a banging year, let me tell you something, boy. It is on for the rest of his life. Like, it is on. Watch this. Y'all just watch this thing play out. Zach about to have his best year yet. Watch this. They ain't talking about trading him no more. He about to show out. He is because he's strong right now. Can't nobody tell him nothing. He hard-headed. The only thing he gonna know is what I got going, what I'm going through later on in this football. He about to show out. It is over with, fellas.
Hang on. Kevin, hang on. You said you think this has been going on for a couple of years now. Are you talking about the thing with his mom's friend? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah.
So what makes you say it's been going on for a couple of years now?
Because she's been coming over to the little parties and they've been flirting back and forth, and she wants some young thing in her life these days, and they've been messing. Boy, listen here, boy. Zach is my dog, man. I would love to have a roommate like that. Like, look, bro, I'm gonna holler at your girl. Hey, man, look, roomie, do your thing, cause I'm knocking down Miss Barbara over here. So, me and Miss Barbara,
I got look. My man and his girl split, right? My man and his girl split.
Yeah.
We don't know, Kev. We don't know if they split because he was already with Miss Robinson, or if he split
right.
and then he got with Miss Robinson. All I know is she put him on blast. She thought she was going to be the one coming out smelling like roses. And now Zach Wilson's got an entire new legion of fans out in America that got his back right now.
The girlfriend couldn't do the things that Miss Barbara doing. Miss Barbara doing things and giving you a plate going out the door. Look at here, buddy. It's going down this year.
Kevin, I appreciate you, fella. Good talk.
Giving you a plate on the way out the door. All right.
Look, all I'm saying is Miss Barbara got Capri Suns in the fridge. You know what I mean? Miss Barbara got Capri Suns and she got orange slices in the fridge ready. because she got stuff to do the next day. She's like, nope, you got to go. You got practice. I got to get up. Get on. Kevin, dude, you're my dog.
Let's make sure we point out that these are all adults, okay?
Yeah,
They're all over the edge. So, I mean,
Miss Barbara, an adult.
makes it
Zach's
less
an
creepy.
adult.
Yes.
Ex-girlfriend is an adult. Ex-best friend is an adult. They're all adults. That's why I don't care. That's why this story is comedy.
All
to
right,
me.
giving them a plate out the door. Is that a Kevin thing or is that a common I've
No,
never heard that
listen,
used
listen,
before.
The old joke is if you go home with somebody's mom, right? If you go home with a mom.
I wasn't aware there were jokes about
Yeah.
this. So, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
The old joke is you go home with somebody's mom, right? You're gonna do the music, right? You're gonna do the brown chicken, brown cow. And then, cause she gotta get up because she got kids and whatnot the next day, she's gonna be like, go on. And if she got kids, what else she got? Snacks, right? So you grab you a Capri Sun, a Lunchable, you're out the door. Tell me that's not the best way to end the night, right? I'm just saying, Zach Wilson figured out the game. Texas says, by the way, Rob is 100% correct. You don't say a word unless you and the friend fall out and then you use it on him. Yeah, that's the ultimate burn. Like, Lonzo and I play video games. When we were in college, when you smoked a chump on Halo, you go, did your mom, bro? And that was like the ultimate burn. The only way that burn gets better is if you actually did it.
Yeah, the internet didn't exist when I was in college, but thanks, Rob.
Take a break. When we come back, Faces and Heels, where we look at other social situations. Trying to figure out who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the face, who's the heel. That's next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. If you were a professional wrestler, what would you have more fun doing? Being a caricature of yourself in real life or playing a completely different person from who you are in real life?
Well,
Would you rather be like a caricature of Lonzo or like a completely made-up person with an entirely different personality?
I would say going with the caricature. The problem with that, though, is you really would have to work at that. Whereas if you're just playing like yourself over the top, you don't have to work as hard.
Right.
So it depends on your work ethic, I suppose. But you're an actor. You want to expand your horizons and do something you never would do in real life. I think you got to go opposite of what you are, for sure.
See, I think I would have the most fun being a caricature of myself, good guy or bad guy. Like, I would come to the ring in jerseys and shorts and backwards baseball caps. I would talk smack. I would do what McAfee's doing, right? Just like an over-exaggerated version of myself, good guy or bad guy.
See, I would be an anime version of Ric Flair, basically. Because I always talked about doing a Rapture and Armageddon tag team. You know, me and the monster, whoever the monster is with the mask on, me coming out with the long white hair. I just being the exact opposite of, or maybe it's who you've always wanted to be. I don't know. I just think that would be so much fun to be a Ric Flair type character. Also, what would be fun would be to wear a mask. Because then you could do anything.
I genuinely think I would do a Sami Zayn and go El Generico. It's some mask I picked up from a indie circuit.
See, I'm thinking more like Kane, Abyss, because I wouldn't have to talk, but that would take away some of the fun, but still.
Oh, I want to talk.
Although when you create your character on the wrestling video game, do you create a version of you, or do you create who, the
Oh, I
wrestler
already
you'd
talked
want to
about this.
be?
I create two versions of me.
Yeah.
One who's just a brawling badass, and then I always create like a 6'3", 250-pound luchador.
I think if I could be any wrestler going right now, I'd probably want to be Riddle. By the way, I finally have convinced Tim to start doing the bro.
You can't be Riddle.
I finally convinced Tim to start doing the bro thing on the show. Just every once in a while, we're breaking into the bro. No, bro. Yeah, bro.
Bro.
He didn't want to do it. I could tell he didn't want to, but it really works. Travis says I'd be Jeff Hardy without the issues. I don't know. Jeff Hardy is broken. That's part of the reasons. I mean, when you jump off ladders and do all that
You
stuff.
see what Hardy said? What Matt Hardy said? Matt Hardy said he came up with the Brother Nero character so that Jeff could stop doing high impact spots. Like it was supposed to be a more grounded character.
But you are who you are, and you can't help. But I mean, that's what people expect you to do, I guess.
Time for Faces and Heels, where Lonzo and I take a look at some socially ambiguous situations, and we declare who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. No fence sitting here, no tweeners, ladies and gentlemen. It's Lonzo's favorite segment of the week. It's Faces and Heels. We start with a 29-year-old woman. She's been engaged to her 29-year-old male fiance for 3 years now. 3 years they've been engaged. She said, I work a physical job. And because I work a physical job, I take my wedding ring off when I'm at work. My engagement ring. Have been doing this for 3 years, and he knows it. I got to pick up boxes and move stuff around. I'm assuming she probably works in like an Amazon warehouse or something, right? Anyway, because she works a physical gig, she has to take off her engagement ring at work. Said for 3 years, the fiance hasn't been worried about it at all. Well, recently, a new guy started working at work. She said, we get on well. We have a lot of similar interests. Last week, we were talking about different places we'd love to travel to. My new colleague mentioned he'd love to visit Tuscany for the scenery. And as a passing comment, I'd said that I had been with my fiance and both loved it. The colleague seemed taken aback and said, oh, I didn't realize you were getting married. You don't wear a ring. I explained that I don't wear it when I work so it doesn't get damaged. She made a face but said nothing. A day later, a coworker came to me and said the new colleague was saying he was annoyed with me as he felt I led him on. Apparently, he's been flirting the entire time. I didn't recognize that because I wasn't in that mindset because I'm engaged. Well, I told my fiance And now he is adamant that I wear my ring at all times. Lonzo, who are faces and who are heels in this scenario? I will leave it open-ended for our 3 involved parties. We have the female fiance not wearing the ring, the male fiance who now suddenly wants her to wear the ring, and the colleague who is telling coworkers that he feels led on.
All right, so we come at this from our own experiences when we talk about this. I can say when I've had to have when I started losing all the weight, when I lost all the weight, I had to have my wedding ring, I had to have some of the gold taken out because it kept falling off of my hand. The only time that I've really got up in the middle of a segment is I had washed my hands in the bathroom and my ring came off and I noticed, and I just jumped up in the middle of a segment on this station and left the room. The 2 co-hosts had no idea what I was doing, and I went in and I dug through the trash to find the ring. It's a sacred thing. I'd be curious to find out if all the other women at that warehouse take their rings off also, because I don't think that's a common thing. And so I think she's the heel, and chances are from everything she's talking about, it sounds like she probably was flirting with the guy. And it's always I was oblivious, I didn't know. She's definitely the heel. I tell you, the one person who's not the heel is the guy who thought she was flirting with him. The coworker. Not the heel.
I don't know if this, no, I guess not. I guess it's not all that surprising. We are completely opposite each other on this one. On all three. As far as her, I understand entirely, right? Like I'm obviously not married. I don't have a ring. I probably will be someday. I tell you right now, if
I can understand why you would have to take your jewelry off to do this show. Because,
not this show,
because it would be,
so here,
the way your hands fly around, something would fly off and would hit me probably.
Sarcasm appreciated, but kind of a little bit true. My grandpa when my grandpa passed away, he was a Marine, and they did a 21 gun salute for him when he passed away, right? Well, one of my cousins grabbed the shell casings from that 21 gun salute, Lonzo, and he went and he had rings made for all of his sons and grandsons, that the top of the ring was the bottom of a shell casing from his 21 gun salute, right? I wore that ring for years and years and years and years and years. And eventually, while I was wearing it, it got crushed on my finger, like had to be cut off of my finger, crushed. Now I can't wear it anymore. It's ruined, right? I understand entirely why you would have especially an engagement ring, because, a wedding ring's leaving there because it's flat. It's not going to catch anything. But engagement ring with the diamond sticking out, that thing can catch on stuff if you're moving it around doing something physical. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I understand the concept of the wedding ring being a sacred symbol and all of that. I'm cool with all of that. It's also a very expensive symbol. And also, if you're in a relationship where the only way that you feel confident that this person you're with isn't going to do something that will upset you is if she can go, nah, and put up the ring force field, you don't have trust in that relationship, in which case it's not a good relationship. If you don't trust your significant other to go out on their own and not wear a ring and not do something that is going to be considered cheating, you're not in a good relationship anyway.
She told her fiance that she gave off those kind of vibes. She basically told her fiance she was flirting. She did.
No, disagree.
She told her fiance not to trust her when she
disagree entirely.
So if that misunderstanding happens, maybe you don't go tell your fiance.
Disagree entirely. In fact, quite to the contrary. I would say this. I cannot tell you how many times in relationships, I have never cheated on anybody in my life. It's not my style. Never have, never will, right? I will call you and break up with you. If I find myself in a situation where I'm like, I'm going to go do something with this person over here, I will call you and break up with you before I do it. I will not cheat. That being said,
you're not going to do it by text. I hear that's how it's done now.
You get a phone call.
Yeah, okay,
hey, sorry,
right.
but I'm about to do this thing. All right. Now, I will also tell you that despite that fact, and despite having been with women who will tell me openly, I trust you inherently, I have been told constantly that my conversation with people can be misconstrued as flirting. I'm not. I'm just talking to people. But I'm just very open when I talk. I'm just fun. I'm your friend immediately when we start talking, and it has been misconstrued as flirting.
I don't know. Your,
If
your
sitting
tone
there-
changes depending on who you're talking to. I've noticed that quite a bit.
It can. Like, if I'm talking to somebody in a very professional setting, the voice will drop down a little bit. It's a pleasure to meet you. I get a little quieter. But if I'm at Dave & Buster's like I was last night for the Liberty, everybody who came up to me last night got this voice. It's good to meet you. Appreciate
I meant
it.
to ask you, how many tickets did you get last night?
How many tickets? I didn't play games.
Yeah, dude, what is wrong with
There
you?
were like 3 basketball games on, a Braves game on. I was living my best life.
So
for a
you
little
went to
while.
Dave & Buster's and didn't play any games.
Correct. Those Braves Mets, man.
You know, if I were a host on another show, I would tell you have to give me a certain kind of card, but I'm not that guy. So,
a nerd card.
yeah, gamer card. It's. I mean, they're 2 separate cards.
Male fiance is a heel. Female fiance is a face. Male colleague is a heel. I have news for every fella listening to this.
Break it up now. You cannot trust that girl.
A
Break it up
woman-
now. Find someone that you can trust.
A woman talking to you does not mean she wants you to take your pants off, my
When you're
guys.
spending time with someone, talking about.
They work together.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about all the things that I would love to do, places I would like to go to. All these
They're
conversations,
just people.
flirtatious conversation.
It's not.
It's without a doubt.
If I go downstairs right now and I talk to Kristen and we talk about travel plans that I'm going on, is that flirting? Or is that me just talking to a coworker who happens to be a woman? That's not flirting.
It doesn't apply because I think we both know the ties that are involved there. So it'd be different if it was a brand new salesperson down there, just got hired and you're down there talking to them. That's different.
All right, here's another one. Lady says that her 5-year-old son has a teddy bear that he's very attached to. Said he takes it everywhere. It's not in the best shape because he's had it all 5 years, and the kid, it's a teddy bear. He beats it up. Anyway, said that they took a family vacation to Greece. They got there. They hung out for a couple days. They flew back. So when we got back, my son was asking for his teddy bear. I started looking and looking and looking and looking, could not find the teddy bear anywhere. I asked my husband, who I told to pack the teddy bear, to get the teddy bear. He couldn't find the teddy bear. They started looking around for the teddy bear, and he said, I left it in Greece. I just realized I left it sitting on the bed in Greece. She said, I made him go online, buy a ticket, and go back to Greece to get my son's teddy bear because that was more important to me than anything else, because it was more important to my son than anything else. Who's face, who's heel? I'll go first if you want me to, because I went first on you went first on the last one.
No, that's there are no faces or heels. I know you can't do this.
Gotta have one.
These are obviously rich people.
Oh, yeah.
These are obviously rich people. So they're both evil. Okay, I changed my mind. They're both heels because they're rich and they can afford to go. I bought him a ticket and told him he had to go back to
Yeah.
Greece alone.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't have any conversations with anyone, from work on his flight over there.
Look, I get that some of you guys, I understand that some of you guys have kids that have a ridiculous attachment to a toy. And I'm not saying ridiculous is
Oh,
bad.
come
I'm not
on.
saying ridiculous
Come
is bad.
on.
I'm saying ridiculous is in they can't live without that toy. I get it.
Yeah, so you didn't.
for the record-
you didn't have that toy.
I still have my teddy bear from the day I was born.
Okay,
Still have
good
it.
for you.
All right? Still have it. Have kept it around until I decided I don't think I'm probably not gonna have I'm not gonna have kids. So now it's like, all right, well I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I still got it.
By the way, if I had the funds to, I would go back and get that because if I knew that meant that much for my kid.
Yes, this is the hotel in Greece that you stayed at.
Yeah, I left the blue teddy bear in room 315. I was wondering if you could ship that back to me.
Yeah, that'd be no problem. It's gonna probably cost you about 200 whatever the dollars are called in Greece to send that back.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I've got enough money to buy a plane ticket to Greece for no reason.
We'll pop that right in there for you, sir. Have a great day.
That bear deserves an escort. So to make sure,
Go get one
that's
from UPS.
no. That bear deserves a family escort. So
Unbelievable.
so did the husband go? Okay, I'll head back to Greece. Let's go.
Unbelievable. Believable. All right. Yeah, one or two more.
That's just such a 1%er story.
Yes, correct. For the record, I want to fight both of those parents. I will handicap match both of those parents. I will fight them both. All right. Young lady says my future sister-in-law is getting married. She said, I am a natural redhead. My sister-in-law is a blonde, but she would love to have red hair. And in fact, ever since meeting me, she started dyeing her hair almost exactly my hair's natural color. Now, I don't mind. I think it's weird she does it, but I don't own red hair, so she's free to do with her hair whatever she wishes. Welp! She's getting married in about a month. She came to me and asked me to dye my hair a different color so that she would have the only red hair on the altar and in the pictures during her wedding. I told my brother, and he told me to do whatever I want because it's my hair. He said he'll talk to her to get her to back off. Well, it didn't work because now she has come to my parents, and my parents have taken her aside. They say it's her special day, and we need to be more accommodating. It's important for our future relationship to get along. I believe I am accommodating. She can do whatever she wants with her own hair. It's her business. But I refuse to dye my hair, and now sister-in-law is telling me dye the hair or don't come to your brother's wedding. All of that, Lonzo. Who's the heel? Who's the face? Got to pick one on each.
Have you ever seen the movie Single White Female? Because this is sending off those vibes.
Super, right?
Yeah.
Super single white female vibes.
Yeah, that's weird. So the future sister-in-law, definitely the heel. The sister who doesn't want to change her hair color is the face.
One who doesn't want to change her hair color is absolutely face, because not only does she not have to, right? But on top of that, when old girl said, I'm going to dye my hair just randomly to match yours, that's a little weird in and of itself. And she's like, hey, it's her hair. I don't have to like it. It's not up to me, right? That's cool. The Ulta heel in this story, though, Ulta heel in this story is her brother, the guy who's marrying the sister-in-law, the brother who is not getting involved. He was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want with your hair. But now, sister-in-law, the fact that sister-in-law is calling original girl's parents, getting them involved, is threatening to uninvite the sister. She is not calling to uninvite the sister without either A, the brother knowing it, or the brother not having said anything to the point that the sister's going behind his back. Brother's the Ulta heel in all of this because he could fix it that fast.
No, he couldn't fix it. That's the thing. He can't fix it. The smart move here is to stay out of it. Yeah, because one way or the other, someone's going to be mad at you. I would rather have both of them
be mad?
Yeah, because it's equal. You know what? If they're both mad at you, you don't have to try to appease one while dealing with just have them both mad at you.
Oh man, that's fantastic. All right. All right, that was the last one.
You know, if you want to, if you would like to do your hair like mine, please do
I'll
so.
Consider it. I'll consider
Yes.
it. I'll consider it.
Tim and I would love to have you among the hippies.
Amongst the hair. All right, last one. 22-year-old man is living in New York City. He has broken up with his girlfriend, and in a moment of maybe weakness, maybe just needed some companionship, he layeth down and got to know biblically another woman shortly after the breakup. However, this woman happens to be friends with his mom. So this guy breaks up with his girlfriend. The girlfriend, by the way, has moved on and is now shacking up with her ex-boyfriend's ex-best friend while he shacks up with his mom's best friend. Yeah, I think we did enough on that one already, right?
Yeah, I think we know who the heel is in this story. It didn't work out for you, did it?
Nope. Listen, if that girl got cheated on by Zach Wilson, I will take all of this back and apologize, okay? If Zach cheated on her with the mom's friend, then yeah, I get where she's coming from. I don't know that running back to ex-best friend to room and board with him is the right direction to go. Netflix and chill with your ex's best homie is not the right way to handle it, but I get why she was trying to defend herself. However, if she cheated on him or this was just a mutual breakup, you have just given Zach Wilson more fame in America than being drafted in the top 3 did. It's impressive.
I just want to say, when the Lifetime movie comes out, who's going to play Zach Wilson and how will that girl actually win? Because that's how it works in Lifetime.
The woman always wins?
Yes.
I don't watch Lifetime movies, so you got me. Let's take a break. Come back. Twitter trending topics to wrap this bad boy up. Want to remind you, tomorrow on the show, we will hear from Julie Carlson. She's the head coach of the Greenville Liberty. Liberty at home in the playoffs tomorrow. Inaugural season of USL W League play, and the girls have made the show. That match will be tomorrow at 7. Tomorrow at about 10:30 or so, we'll replay our interview with Julie Carlson from last week. She breaks down that playoff game. No, tomorrow's Wednesday, not Thursday. I was about to say Fight Club, but that's 2 days from now. Come back for that, too. It'll be awesome. Twitter trending topics in the end of the show is next on The Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
So did you order extra stuff or something?
No.
Is that...
I did not. Let's see, what do we got here?
Did she just believe that you would want the leftovers? Is that what happened?
Got a little cheese Danish action going on here. You gotta like that. A little cheese Danish in that one.
It says what these are.
Ah, so she brought an extra Danish.
Two of them.
Yeah. You want one? One chocolate chip, one
No.
cheese. Okay, I do. Oh, that hit the backing. Gross.
Oh, it's so hard.
Baseball pitch. Wait, where? How was there another bag? There were only. Why are there 4 bags?
They're supposed. She brought in 2 more bags. That's what I was just showing you. So there should be a total of 4 bags. What? Are you all right? Look at you consolidating, just so you know, for cleaning purposes, of course.
That's why.
It only worked because you touched Junior before you threw
That's
the
why.
ball.
Hey, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That was good, but I cannot finish it. It is just pure sugar. Pure sugar.
Which is why I'm, yeah.
Pure sugar. Oh, good. Earlier we got MJV LeBron, and now we get a full Jake Paul segment.
That's what I was pointing at because I wanted you to just lose all track of everything.
This particular channel is just on an absolute heater today.
It's the off season. Of course, Jake Paul is always on season. Look at that face. How could you hate that face?
Easy.
Yeah, Stephen, I brought that in when I had to work late with Mark Ryan. I'm told Diesel can hit a shot from anywhere in the room now.
Yeah, okay.
So you doubt that? You saying you could
I'm
best
saying-
Diesel?
Yeah, I'm saying Diesel and I would win that game of horse. I have one particular Twitter trending topic that was up this morning that I hope you get. I will not influence Twitter trending topics.
You try to. You're trying to right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not telling you anything about what it is. That being said, let's just go straight into it.
I'm going to.
Okay. Also, I think I'm going to move it from 59 or from 50 up to 49 to give us an extra minute. What do you think about that plan?
I don't mind, except on days like maybe today when there's not a whole lot, but it's fine. Although there was something, but I was trying to save it, but I don't have to save it.
Trying to save it for Thursday?
Yeah, but I don't have to. Although it isn't like something can't be brought up one
Yeah.
place and then elaborated on later.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you Raymond in Buffalo, and Marriott in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana.
This guy just said if Arch Manning's last name wasn't Manning, he would be a 3-star recruit. Believe that or not.
I can honestly say I've never seen Arch
Never seen him
Manning
play?
play, so I can't really, yeah. I hope he does well for his dad, since his dad never really got a chance, like his uncles did.
Archie has said many times Cooper would have been a better quarterback than both of them.
Yeah, I've heard him say that.
Yeah.
So genetically, maybe we'll get to see if that was true or not.
Hey, Maine. That is such a good name for his podcast.
It is. It is.
Such a good name.
All right, time for Twitter trending topics, where I tell Rob what is trending and he will let everyone know why it is trending. The first thing that's trending is Bray Wyatt.
So the WWE put out some promo pictures. Was that from a vignette that ran last night? I haven't
It's
finished.
there's another video
Gotcha.
that the videos I'm talking about.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been putting videos, a cryptic video, which shows a lot of tag team stuff, and now it's shown something else.
Okay. I saw last night that I guess it included a swinging light bulb.
Dr. Light. The time artist looks like a police figure. It's not so one of the intros
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your